In this clip I want to look at the current hot topic of nature versus nurture and propose a third influence on us called neighbour, using the Octaikon to help explain things. First, let's look at how we are made up. We have a physical body, what the Greeks call soma, and that can be represented on the Octaikon by the outer colours. It is what people see and can be referred to as our phenotype. That means that which is shown. And we also have the unseen inner soul or spirit, what the Greeks call psyche or pneuma. That is represented by the white part. The white blends in with the colours, emphasising that we don't really know where one stops and the other starts. Then we have our mind. The Greek for that is nous, which I put near our thinking faculty. And how that relates to body and soul is also not really known. Materialists would say that the mind is just in the brain, formed by fizzing neurons, but some free-thinking scientists would suggest that it extends beyond our body in some way, say as a thought field. Now, the way that our phenotype and personality, body and soul, or how we look and behave, is expressed to people around us depends on two main influences. One concerns what we are born with, our genetically determined traits, features and faculties and temperaments. That is what is meant by our basic nature, or in terms of our genes, our genotype. And another main influence is, of course, the environment around us, how we were brought up in our family, educated in school, affected by our work and so on. That is what is meant by nurture. You can express this relationship simply for plants and animals, saying that the phenotype equals the genotype modified by the environment. But with us humans it becomes a bit more complicated. We need to start with the idea of a trait and say first of all that our genetically controlled traits form our temperament. Then we say that our temperament, modified by the environment in which we develop, produce our character, which is equivalent to our phenotype. And finally, the way we express that character to others is our personality. Our personality may or may not reflect our character, depending on how much we want to hide it. Persona means mask. Now, if you accept that there is a spiritual side to us, and you take a Christian viewpoint, we can argue, as my father-in-law has done, that we know God through three channels of knowledge: instinct, senses and intuition, and these can be linked with temperament, character and personality as follows. Instinct can be thought of as our built-in inherited knowledge, our nature, leading to our temperament. Sense-based knowledge comes from our environment, our nurture, helping to form our character. And intuition is immediate understanding without reasoning, and this underlies the way we express our personality. But what do we call that factor of expression? It's neither nature nor nurture. Well, if it is spiritual and from God as it should be, and we are made in the image of God, then we can call it, using the same alliteration, neighbour. Why neighbour? Because God's Spirit working in us enables us to override both nature and nurture to fulfill the great commandment to show unconditional divine love of God and our neighbour. So, there is hope even for the worst of us. Those are quite a lot of ideas to take in, but before you pause, I want to make one final point. To be able to study concepts such as these that bridge the physical and spiritual, we need both science and religion. It's been argued that the two, as they are popularly understood, should be completely separate, forming so-called non-overlapping magisteria or noma, to use the jargon. But is that right? I like the German idea that has been used in their universities, that there are both natural and spiritual sciences, or Naturwissenschaften and Geisteswissenschaften, that in effect do overlap. After all, the original meaning of science is a systematic way of building up knowledge, and they both do that. So, nature, nurture and neighbour, three influences that form us. What do you think?